Hmm. With a murmur, the sleeping boy opened his eyes. The young man stood up slowly, looking at the endless void in front of him, standing there in a daze. System prompt, welcome to the host. A cold mechanical sound sounded. Hey? What the hell? The boy said in surprise. System prompt, back to the host, you have come to the main god's space, and I am the system that will accompany and guide you. System? Like in the novel? The boy asked. Then can you explain to me why I came here? The boy asked. System prompt, host, you have died in the previous world. It is reasonable to say that your soul should perish, but you were chosen by the main and summoned to the space of the main god. The system's icy voice sounded. So, I'm really lucky. The young man smiled wryly. Die? Why don't I have any impression? The young man thought to himself. Is the host ready to cross? The system's prompt sounded. Time traveling? Now? Where are you going through time traveling? The young man was obviously startled by this sudden prompt. System prompt, host, you are about to enter the world of Ultramantiga. Hey! The boy was startled. Prepare to travel, the time travel begins. The voice of the system made the boy flustered. Hey, wait, I haven't asked clearly yet, here. Before the boy finished speaking, he saw a magic circle shining with blue light appearing under his feet, and he was slowly sinking into it. Ah! With the boy's screams, the main space fell into silence again. Wow, it's so violent. Ren Yi complained. Hey? This is it. Looking at the strange scene in front of him, Ren Yi asked. There was a jungle around Renai, and there was no sign of people living there, and the chirping of birds could be heard in his ears, mixed with the sound of running water at all. System prompt, transmigrating successfully, welcome the host to the world of Ultramantiga. At this moment, the system's voice sounded. N. Ren Yi was taken aback for a moment, and then said angrily, you still know that I am your host? Just throw me here without explaining anything. System prompt, it is detected that the host's mood fluctuates greatly, please calm down the host first, so that the system can work normally. What the am I? Renai took a deep breath, desperately resisting the urge to kick the system to death, even though he didn't know where the system itself was. System prompt, calm down the emotions and complete, the next step is to guide. Guide? What guide? Ren Yi asked with some doubts. Expand the character panel below. Host name, Renai sex, male age, 16, this world, strength, speed, endurance. Special abilities, dragon, activated, ox, activated, horse, activated, rat, activated, dog, activated, pig, deactivated, rabbit, deactivated, snake, deactivated, tiger, deactivated, monkey, inactive, sheep, inactive, chicken, inactive, status, both parents died, owning a car and a house, with hundreds of millions of savings, a rich second-generation idler. Renai looked at his attributes and gave a wry smile. Are you really good at arranging identities? System prompt, please pay attention to the host, there is a living body approaching detected. Renai turned his head suddenly after hearing this, and saw 5 people in strange costumes walking towards him. Kids over there, please wait a moment. One of the team members shouted to Renai. Kid? Who the is a kid? Ren Yi shouted angrily after hearing this. Ah! Cough! The man ran towards him, and when he heard Ren Yi's roar, he coughed twice in embarrassment. That, kid! You're just a kid. When the man met Ren Yi in front of him, he was a little irritable, so he softened his tone a little. Okay, this, sir? Excuse me. Hearing that his address had been changed, he stopped worrying about it and listened to the speech of Zinken in front of him with a look of interest. You came to this wilderness alone, what's the matter? Xingqian looked at Renai in front of him. Yep. Renai was taken aback for a moment, and then thought, what the hell, this is what the system threw here for me, I am also very desperate. It's nothing, I lost my way. Ren Yi thought for a while and said. Lost. Hori and the others also followed at this time. It's too bad, shall we send him home? Lena looked at Renai, and then everyone around. But, our mission. Daegyu hesitated. Speaking of this, kid. Sir, have you seen a huge pyramid in this mountain? Xingqian originally planned to call Ren Yi a kid, but after thinking about it, he decided to call him Mr. Pyramid. Renai began to think after hearing this. Pyramid? This is Ultraman Tiga, right, so the victory team is in front of me? If you are looking for the pyramid, it should be the first episode, when it just started. Oh! Ren Yi suddenly yelled. What? Have you seen it? Daegyu asked excitedly. You reading www.yuyuganshu.com, is that what you're talking about? Ren Yi said and pointed behind everyone. Everyone quickly turned their faces away, only to see a huge golden pyramid standing behind them. Pyramid. Daegyu murmured, and then ran directly towards the pyramid. Daegyu. Everyone shouted when they saw Daegyu rushing directly towards the pyramid. Daegyu, come back quickly, the headquarters has sent a notice that 2 monsters are coming. This is, Zhongfang came running from nowhere and shouted. But Daegyu seemed to be deaf, and kept running without looking back. Seeing this, everyone had no choice but to follow. Little friend, you can go down the mountain if you keep walking along that mountain road. It's very dangerous here, so hurry up and leave. Lena said to Renai before leaving. What the hell? Ren Yi suppressed his anger. Don't call me a kid. If it weren't for your beauty, I would have. Ren Yi looked at Lena, who was going away, and shouted loudly. Obviously, at this distance, Lena couldn't hear Ren Yi's words. Cut. Ren Yi snorted coldly. So, is this really the first episode? At the beginning? Ren Yi walked under the tree beside him while thinking. System prompt, warn the host that Gorzon and Melba are coming. The voice of the system made Renai shudder. 2 monsters with a height of 5,060 meters are coming, and I am still thinking about it here. If I am not careful, I will die. Just when Renai was about to run away quickly, the ground began to shake intermittently. Renai looked behind and saw Melba in the sky rushing towards the ground. It's over, it's time for GG. It's over, it's time for GG. Renai looked at Melba in front of him and muttered. System prompt, host, please don't despair, show the arrogance of a king. The system's encouraging voice sounded. It's the bastard's spirit. Renai said as he hurriedly found a cover to hide from himself, in case Melba saw him and regarded himself as dessert. Yes, that's right, it's dessert, which is more delicious, not enough to get between the teeth. With the arrival of Melba, the frequency of the ground vibration became faster and faster, and the amplitude became larger and larger. Hey, I'm dangerous enough with just Melba, and Gorzon, the system, are you kidding me? Why did you throw me here? Renai climbed onto a tree and looked at the slow-moving man in the distance. Gorzon, who came slowly, complained to the system. System prompt, host, why do you say that? The teleportation location is random, you blame me yourself. Ren Yi said angrily. Since when did this system become so humane, can it still be like this? Renai thought to himself. Hey, I don't want to die right after I was born. Is there nothing you can do, the system? Ren Yi asked tentatively. System prompt, Master, you can enter the combat state to save your life. The system replied. Battle form? Do I still have a battle form? Ren Yi asked excitedly. Do you want to enter combat mode? Yes or no? The system's prompt sounded. Yes. Resolutely yes. Begin to enter the combat state. With the sound of the system, Rinai felt that he was undergoing a huge change. He saw that the trees in front of him became smaller and smaller, and the visible angle gradually became clearer. After Rinai realized it. Find. I've grown taller? Bigger. Ren Yi looked at the two monsters who were surrounded by tiny things that were already in front of them. What's the situation? Why is there another monster? In the distant headquarters of the victory team, Ji Jianhui's dissatisfied voice sounded. Analyzing. Unable to detect, I don't know how he appeared, as if there were no signs. Ye Rui said hurriedly. Damn it, call Zhong Feng, call Zhong Feng. Zhu Jianhui turned on the pager. I'm Zhong Feng, Captain, what can I do? Zhong Feng asked after accepting it. Quickly evacuate, the situation is abnormal, and a third monster has appeared. Zhu Jianhui said directly without delay. What? The third monster? Didn't that machine say there were only two? Digging also heard the conversation between Zhu Jianhui and Zhong Feng, and said. The third monster, the situation is not good, let's retreat quickly. Xingqian also yelled. Let's go, Daegu, it's dangerous here. Lina pulled Daegu and pulled him outside. Daegu looked at the three stone statues reluctantly, turned his head reluctantly, and left with the crowd. At this time, Ren Yi was sandwiched between the two monsters, and did not move at all, and the atmosphere was a little awkward for a while. At this time, Gorzon and Merba had also reached the position of the pyramid, looking at Ren Yi in the middle, howling non-stop. Seeing that the two monsters did not attack him, Ren Yi was slightly relieved. I saw Gorzon walking towards him suddenly, seeming to stick his head out of curiosity. When Gorzon and Rinai approached, Rinai thought that Gorzon was about to attack him, and hurriedly made a defensive posture, only to see that Gorzon just patted Rinai lightly with his hand, as if saying, Hi, boy, you are in the way. Then he bypassed Rinai and walked towards the pyramid. Ren Yi behind Gorzon was looking at Gorzon in a daze. What the hell? Think of me as an accomplice? Rinai thought to himself. I saw that Gorzon and Merba ignored Rinai and began to spray light to destroy the pyramid. In the distance, the fighter jets of the victory team also came. Among them, the fighter piloted by Daegu was leading the way, flying straight towards Gorzon, and then dropped several smoke bombs. Ren Yi looked at the scene in front of him with some doubts. What the hell? Rushed over aggressively, and ended up throwing a smoke bomb. Daegu roared in the distance, you disgusting monsters. Afterwards, the second fighter jet also arrived, but they didn't rush up like Daegu did, but kept circling around, as if they were observing the situation. At this time, Ren Yi just stood aside blankly, watching Gorzon and Merba destroy the pyramid, and everyone in the victory team dealt with them. It's so boring. Ren Yi thought about it, then walked to the side, and lay down against a hill. Well, it may be good to watch a live version of Ultraman Tiga. Rinai thought to himself. At this moment, the highlight of the first episode came. After destroying the pyramid, Gorzon and Merba began to swing at the three stone statues inside the pyramid. Looking at the three stone statues, only the one in the middle was left intact, and the other two had been destroyed to such an extent that they were even seen as ruins. Stop! In the distance, Daegyu's roar sounded again. And then the driver Fei in number 1 rushed towards Gorzon. At this time, Melba, who had pushed the stone statue to the ground and was about to crush it, suddenly turned her head and fired several light waves at Fei in number 1, directly hitting Fei in number 1. Daegu! Several shouts came from inside Fei in number 2 in the distance. Maybe other people didn't notice it, but Ren Yi, who was lying on the side, saw it. When Fei in number 1 had crashed, a beam of light suddenly appeared inside the plane and rushed into the colored timer of the Ultraman stone statue. Oh! The show is about to begin. Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com. Rinai muttered when he saw this scene. The host's enemy has been detected, Ultraman is about to appear, please prepare the host for the battle. The system's voice suddenly sounded. What? Ultraman is my enemy? Ren Yi asked in surprise. System prompt, release the first task, after Ultraman Tiga defeats Merba, make sure Gorzon leaves safely, and hit Ultraman Tiga once. Rinai looked at the tasks issued by the system in front of him, and stood up helplessly. What the hell, finally came to the world of Ultraman Tiga, but became a villain. Rinai thought to himself. Rinai is more aware of the plot of Ultraman. The villains are basically victorious in the end. No matter how strong it is, it will always be defeated for various reasons in the end. Just when Ren Yi was about to lie down in another convenient place to watch the battle, a picture suddenly flashed in front of his eyes. Yab? Small river? Rinai thought to himself. Then he stopped and looked at Xiaohe carefully. I saw, in the small river, a monster with a human body and a dragon head, with red eyes, and cold eyes, a head shaped like a flame, sides like knife points, a mouth like a crocodile's mouth, a snake's tongue, a ferocious face, and 8 dragons. Dragon horns similar to ox horns, a monster that looks like a dinosaur and neon beast are staring at him. However, an image deep in memory suddenly appeared in Ren Yi's mind. This is Holy Master. I am, Holy Master. Ren Yi muttered in disbelief. Afterwards, Ren Yi suddenly opened the character panel, and looked at his special ability again. Relieved, isn't this the Holy Master? At this time, not far away, a violent light flickered. Just when Ren Yi was surprised, Ultraman Tiga had been revived not far away, and his flickering intense light successfully attracted everyone's attention. The giant has recovered. Zhu Jianhui, looking at the revived Dijia in the victory team headquarters, muttered. But, how did you recover? In Fiyin number 2, Du Jing asked with some doubts. Gorzon and Melba were also obviously startled by the sudden recovery of the giant, and they looked at Dijia in front of them in bewilderment. After recovering, Dijia didn't hesitate, and just kicked Gorzon. Seeing that Gorzon was attacked by this giant, Melba didn't hesitate anymore, and flew into the air, swooping towards Tiga. After being attacked, Gorzon also stood up angrily, and walked towards Dijia eagerly. However, before Gorzon attacked Dijia kicked Gorzon to the open space next to Rinai with another flying kick. In the gap when Dijia kicked Gorzon, Melba seized the opportunity and hit Dijia with a ray. After being hit by Melba, Tiga turned around quickly, and then, with his hands crossed in front of his head, a purple light flashed, and then he swung his hands down, and Tiga turned into a purple form. Then it flew up to the sky and kicked Melba down. Boom! With the loud landing sound and violent shaking, Melba fell heavily to the ground. I saw Dijia also flew down immediately after him. Melba hurriedly stood up, ready to take off and attack again. However, Tiga didn't give him a chance. He saw a purple ray hit him, and then, while maintaining the takeoff posture, Melba's whole body began to burst, exploded, and then disappeared without a trace. And Gorzon, when he was kicked to the side of Rinai, saw Rinai lying on the side, and continued to crawl with some peace of mind, but after seeing Melba being killed, he crawled up unsteadily. At the same time, he did not forget to wave his hand at Rinai, as if saying, "Brother, come help." But Rinai pretended not to understand, but stood up cooperatively. According to the plot, in the next fight, Tiga has no way to kill Gorzon, so I don't have to worry about failing the mission. The next thing to do is to hit him once before Tiga disappears. Ren Yi thought so. Then, Gorzon took the lead and rushed towards Dijia. As for Dijia, when he saw such a strong Gorzon rushing towards him, he quickly changed into a red form and went directly to meet him. During several rounds of fierce fist fights, Gorzon found that even his own proud strength was no match for the opponent, so he had the idea of running away. At this moment, Ren Yi also noticed this, and thought to himself, it's about time. Afterwards, Ren Yi rushed down to Dijie, charged backward with his right hand, and when he approached Dijie, he punched Dijie directly. Seeing the red form, Dijie, who seemed to be full of strength, flew far away like a kite with a broken string. After seeing this scene, Gorzon looked at Renai in surprise, and then lowered his head slightly, as if to flatter Renai. At this time, Ren Yi was in a state of bewilderment. WOC, what the hell? When did my strength become so strong? Renai thought to himself. Flying to Dijia in the distance, he stood up with difficulty and looked at Renai with vigilance. Although Ultraman's face has no expression, and Ren Yi, after knocking Dijia into the air, didn't seem to intend to continue chasing him. Instead, he walked towards the distant valley, as if he was about to leave. After Gorzon saw it, he understood that Renai didn't intend to continue fighting. Considering that he couldn't defeat the Ultraman alone, he decisively chose to dig the ground and leave. After seeing that the two wanted to leave, Dijia hurriedly chased after them. However, just before he ran for 2 steps, the timer on his chest flickered faster. Dijia knew that his time was coming, so he stretched out his hands to the sky and flew away. Daegu. Why? Why is it like this? Daegu. Daegu. Come back soon. In the quiet valley came the call of the victorious team. Hey! I seem to have heard Daegyu's voice. Lena suddenly raised her head and said to everyone. Hey! I seem to have heard it too. Digging said, looking into the distance. Daegu was running towards the crowd with an excited expression on his face. You brat, where did you go? I'm so worried. Zhongfang put his arms around Daegu, and scolded with a smile. That's right, it made us worry for nothing. Xingqian complained from the side. Ha, ha, I'm sorry everyone, I was saved by that giant. Daegu hurriedly smoothed things over. Let's not talk about this first, let's go to the headquarters. Zhongfang said, holding Daegu and walking towards Fei in number 2. Victory Headquarters. Yerui, show me the results of the analysis. Seeing that everyone had arrived, Zhu Jianhui said to Yerui who was typing on the computer. Yes. The result will be displayed on the display. Yerui replied. I saw a video of Tiga fighting monsters during the day on the huge display screen. Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com. It's amazing to see it this way. Digging sighed. Very bold. Xingqian looked at the screen and said. Ahem. Now let's enter the meeting. Seeing that everyone seemed to be off topic, Zhu Jianhui said hastily. I think everyone knows that this monster is called Gorzon, and this one is called Melba. Zhu Jianhui pointed to the 2 monsters on the screen respectively. Merba, the monster that tears apart the sky, and Gorzon, the monster that shakes the earth. Everyone must have known the strength of these 2 monsters. Next is the important point, for this giant who suddenly recovered. Zhu Jianhui said, and the screen turned to Dijie. From the video, we can see that he has the strength that does not belong to Gorzon and the speed that does not belong to Merba. Moreover, it seems that he needs to switch forms. Well, does he have other forms? Digging asked curiously. It's not clear yet, please look at the data analysis of his 2 forms and the data analysis of Gorzon and Merba. Yerui said and announced the data map on the big screen. Well, amazing data. Xingqian sighed. That's right, the monster that shakes the earth. Lena also said. But the data of this giant is also very scary. Digging looked at Digia's data intently. However, according to the time machine, this giant should be our human partner, which can be said to be a good thing. Zhu Jianhui said to everyone. But, how did he suddenly come back to life? Someone asked. I don't know. While everyone was actively discussing, Daegu sat aside, thoughtful. Today's eyes are bright, the wind is sunny, it should be a beautiful and harmonious day, but... Hey, did you hear that? What? What? Gakuma has appeared. The legendary Jakuma. Yes, I heard that everyone who saw him turned into stone, it's scary. Victory Headquarters. All gather in the command room. Yerui sat by the computer and tapped the computer to inform the team members. Is it really worthy of being the victory team? The rest of the team members, except for Zhu Jianhui, who was studying and discussing Gorzon in the command room, the rest of them came from their own rooms, but their speed was also very fast. All members came to the command room. After being notified by the director, I will announce our current tasks. Captain Zhu Jianhui said to everyone. Our current urgent task is to convert the fighter plane into a model that can fight against monsters. There is no delay, everyone. After receiving the order, all the team members immediately started to act. Dujing and Lina participated in the research and development process of the new model. At this time, only Yurui and Daegyu were left in the command room. Yurui opened the video of the battle between Ultraman Tiga and Melba, and discussed with Daegyu. On the big screen, Tiga's battle video, or Daegyu's battle video, was constantly playing in a loop. This is the video of the battle between the giant and Melba. Yerui said. According to the video analysis, it can be concluded that the giant's activity time on the Earth is only 3 minutes. Oh? Why are you so sure? Daegyu looked at Yerui suspiciously. After hearing this, Yerui tapped the keyboard, only to see that the screen shifted to when Gorzon was escaping. So far, when Gorzon and the unknown dragon-shaped monster were running away, the light on the giant's chest began to flicker violently, and the giant stopped chasing. It can be seen that it is time for the giant to move, so I won't pursue any more. Yerui analyzed. In addition, Yerui continued. At present, we know that there are 3 forms of giants: normal form, red form, and purple form. Then he called up the screen of the 3 forms of fighting. It can be seen from this that the red form of the giant can exert great strength, but the speed cannot keep up. He tapped his finger. Look here, the giant has a sensitive speed, but its relative strength is weak. After hearing this, Daegyu was silent for a while, as if he was thinking about something. At the mine, Director Sawai is asking and comforting the workers on the construction site. Excuse me, has anyone here seen Jakumar? The director asked. Yes, I have seen him, he has a huge horn. A worker said. Father, your eyes are blurred? It's 2 horns, said the worker beside him. Yes, that's right, it's 2 horns. No, it's obviously 1 horn. The director looked at the people who were arguing in front of him, then turned to the team members behind him and said, it seems that no one has really seen Jakumar. Ho! Ho! A huge roar sounded. At this time, Director Sawai and other team members in the temporary combat conference room were observing the equipment. After hearing Jakumar's roar, everyone hurried out of the tent. Director. A team member ran up and said to Director Sawai. Activate the detonator and blow him up. Yes. With the violent explosion and thick smoke rising, everything seemed to be calm. However, an angry roar sounded again. Obviously, the battle failed. Victory Team Headquarters Command Room. But there is a strange problem. Yerui said while looking at the screen. What? Daegyu was a little puzzled. Why is there only 1 recovered giant? Yerui said, walking to the time machine and pressing the button. My descendants, you have only 1 mission, which is to revive the giants and defend the earth. Yalian's projection appeared. There is only 1 way to revive a giant, and that is at UN number UN% at number look, as soon as you reach a critical place, there will be noises, and you can't get rid of them. Yerui complained. At this time, Daegyu was so shocked that he couldn't move. There is only one way to revive the giant, and that is to turn Daegyu into light. This is what Daegyu heard. At the mine, Lena drove the newly improved Victory Swallow to meet Jakumar. Just when Lena and Zhongfang rushed to attack Jakumar, Jakumar shot out a ray of light. I saw that the objects hit by its light turned into stones. It's terrible. If it is hit, the plane will crash directly. Zhongfang said with some fear. However, Zhongfang's mouth seemed to be open, and a second later, a ray of light hit the right wing of the plane with precision. Just as Jakumar was chasing Lena and Zhongfang, Dujing, Daegyu and Xingqian came driving the Victory Fei in No. 2 machine. Daegyu, let him taste the power of super powerful light. Digging said excitedly. No problem, super powerful light, launch. As he said that, a green light beam was launched, and just when it was about to hit Jakumar, a thick flame light intercepted it. That's right, Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com is the transformed Renyi who emits this ray of light. What? The super powerful light was actually blocked. Digging looked at Renyi in disbelief. Monster! Daegyu also stared at Renyi closely. Renyi at this time. Well, it really is more at ease like this. I don't want to watch Jakumar die like this. After all, you humans are the ones who are wrong this time. Renyi thought. I saw that Renyi, who had transformed into a holy master, ignored the people in the Victory team in front of him, turned his head and squatted down, and stroked Jakumar with his hands. And Jakumar didn't resist, but stood quietly, letting Renyi's gentle touch. Really, such a lovely Jakuma, why did this group of humans kill him cruelly? Etc. This group of humans? There seems to be something wrong with my wording. Forget it, take care of him. The above are Renyi's inner thoughts. After stroking for a while, Renyi thought that the enemy behind him could not allow himself to be unrestrained, so Renyi stood up and looked fiercely at the ant in front of him. That monster has turned around, is it going to attack? Xingqian asked. No need, I'm afraid it's useless to attack. Digging refused. At this time, Daegyu was staring at Renyi in front of him. He couldn't forget that when he transformed for the first time, he was slapped away by the monster in front of him. No, dealing with monsters is the responsibility of our Victory team, we should continue to attack. Daegyu said to Dujing and Xingqian. Even if you say so, Daegyu. Digging felt a little helpless. At this time, Director Sawai said on the ground with a pager, why don't you continue to attack? This is a good opportunity to test the power of the new weapon. Digging the well continued to take off helplessly, circling around Renyi. Looking at the Shengli Fei in No. 2 aircraft hovering around him, Renyi resisted the urge to send them a dragon spell and breath. Because Renyi wanted to test his defense and see how powerful the super powerful ray that wiped out Jakumar in one blow in the original book was. Renyi looked puzzled at Fei in No. 2, which was hovering all the time, but didn't attack, and then looked at the people guarding the ground. I said you are attacking. Renyi thought to himself. Seeing that there was still no movement from the crowd, Renyi had no choice but to. A dragon's breath is sent to you. Then, a thick flame flashed, and a hill in the distance exploded and was instantly razed to the ground. Seeing this scene, the victorious team on the ground had long been sluggish, and Fei in too almost crashed and sank violently. Hey, what are you doing digging a well? It was very dangerous just now. Xingqian complained. Sorry, it's just, some. Dui Jing stammered. This power is too terrifying. Director Sawai on the ground also said in surprise. And at this moment, Renyi. WOC, so the power of the dragon spell is so great? When I was a child, I thought the dragon talisman was the weakest. I'm sorry for the dragon talisman, I underestimated you. Renyi thought to himself. However, not long after the hill was shattered, the ground shook again, and beside the shattered hill, on another hill, Two huge horns suddenly appeared, and then, a monster figure slowly appeared. When it fully appeared, it turned out to be no different from Jakuma, except that there was an extra horn on its head. "Look, there are really two Jakuma!" someone shouted on the ground. "Three monsters, it's a bit difficult," Daegyu muttered. After all, Daegyu faced three monsters at his first stop, and he had no energy after he eliminated only one, let alone now, and he had seen Rinai's strength, plus two petrified monsters. The capable Jakumar has no chance of winning at all. Fiyin number 2, who was planning to attack, was immediately shocked. The originally gathered rays were not emitted either. And Rinai looked at the large amount of energy gathered at the head of the number 2 machine, and it must be super strong light. Thus, the following scene happened. After firing the dragon's breath, Rinai opened his hands, facing the number 2 machine, listening to his chest, as if saying, "Come and hit me. Hit here." Digging looked at this scene with a dazed expression. "Why do I feel that this monster is so weak?" Zinken looked at Rinai in a daze. "To be honest, I am the same." Daegu also echoed. If it wasn't for Zinken and Dujing who were sitting next to him, I'm afraid Daegyu would have transformed into Dijia and went up to slap Rinai. The moment Daijing pressed the button, Ren Yi also felt that the ray was coming. "I saw the super strong light hit Rinai's heart Heaton." "Okay. A direct hit," Zinken said happily. "Should be wiped out, right?" Digging couldn't believe it. Only Daegyu knew that there was nothing wrong with Rinai. Seeing the smoke dissipate, Ren Yijeng stood indifferently, looking at Fiyin number 2 with disdain. As if to say, "Did you make a mistake? Such food?" Digging the well at this time was both surprised and angry. The one who was surprised was Ren Yi's defensive power, and the one who was angry was Ren Yi's appearance. The ground troops were also angry. They didn't intend to provoke Ren Yi, but at this time, some member of the team fired a shot directly. "Keep shooting, shoot. Hey, what are you doing?" Director Sawai shouted angrily when he saw that his team members were so undisciplined. "I'm sorry, Director, please forgive us, but we really want to beat him," a team member said while shooting. "You guys, well, I can understand, keep shooting. Increase the firepower." Finally, even Director Sawai couldn't take it anymore and ordered directly. However, just after the ground troops ran out of ammunition, the place where Ren Yi was located was already in a foggy area, and nothing could be seen. Just after the smoke dissipated, I saw a huge figure still standing motionless. "What the hell, why haven't I died yet?" a team member swears directly. Ren Yi at this time. "Wahaha, it's so cool, the healing of the horse charm and the immortality of the dog charm. What can you do to me? It's amazing, not only the destructive power, but also the defensive power is so amazing, I'm afraid." Digging was on the plane, and he could see most clearly that Ren Yi took all the attacks hidden, but nothing happened. "If I fight him, can I really win?" Daegyu also had doubts at this time. "Wait, where's Jakumar?" someone asked. "That's right. Where's Jakuma? Why is Jakuma missing?" It turns out that he was deliberately delaying time so that Jakuma could escape. Zhong Fang concluded. "Is this the original plan?" Daegyu looked at Rinai. And Rinai, at this time, was looking at everyone with a provocative face, and kept scratching his head and making poses, constantly provoking. Yu reading www.yuyugonshu.com. "I can't bear it," Daegyu said angrily. "Daegyu, Ren, we must endure. Our victory team has undergone strict training. Facing the enemy's provocation, we must endure." Digging had a constipated expression on his face. "Landing, I'm going to the toilet. I can't bear it," Daegyu said. All right." Digging was a little confused. Seeing that driving Fiyin number 2 could not threaten Ren Yi at all anyway, digging a well no longer wasted aircraft fuel and landed on the ground. The moment the plane cabin opened, Daegu rushed out. Daegu, are you in such a hurry? Xingqian looked at Daegu who was going away. Daegu came behind a huge rock and took out his divine light stick. Tiga. There was a dazzling light on the field, and Ultraman Tiga appeared on the stage. Look! It's a giant! Lena looked at Tiga excitedly. Giant, are you here? The director looked at Digia thoughtfully. Rinai looked at Digia in front of him, and was a little wary at first, but then thought, I have the dog charm of immortality, the horse charm of healing, and the powerful dragon spell of dragon's breath, what can you, Digia, do to me? So he pointed at Digia without any scruples and raised his middle finger. Everyone saw this scene. This monster knows how to put up the middle finger. Digging said in surprise. Is this monster intelligent? Or is it a common gesture for all creatures to express discrimination? Zhong Fang said. And Daegu, who became Digia, also looked confused when he saw Rinai pointing at him. What the hell, am I hitting a monster? Why does it feel like an arrogant human being? Daegu thought. Seeing Ren Yi pointing his at Digia, even Digia was stunned. But the awareness of being a soldier made Digia not hesitate too much, and after a while of hesitation, he rushed towards Rinai. It starts with a flying kick. Just when everyone thought that this blow would directly send Ren Yi flying, something unexpected happened. Rinai easily received Digia's flying kick, then grabbed Digia's foot and swung it twice, before throwing it aside. How come, even giants? Lena couldn't believe the scene in front of her. This monster is so powerful. Zhu Jianhui was also shocked when he watched the screen on the screen in the command room. Analyzing the monster's data. Yerui tapped the keyboard with both hands. The results show, how could it be? Can't be analyzed? Or, infinite? Yerui stammered and announced the results of his analysis. How come? Jun Jianhui looked at the screen blankly. At the mine. After being thrown into the air by Ren Yi, Digia immediately woke up after a brief dizziness, stood up hastily, and confronted Ren Yi in a defensive posture. Ren Yi looked at Digia, who was constantly changing his guard posture, and smiled wryly. Brother, did you forget your 3-minute setting? It's been a minute and a half. Rinai thought to himself. Sure enough, the color timer on Tiga's chest began to turn red and flicker. Giant, is it time? Yerui, who was far away at the headquarters of the victory team, saw this scene and muttered. Daegu also noticed that his time was running out, so he waved his hands, turned into a red powerful form, and rushed towards Rinai again. I really don't have a long memory. Rinai thought to himself. Digia's right hand was turned backwards, and a burst of red light enveloped Digia's right fist in a posture of accumulating strength. Immediately afterwards, he swung forward fiercely, trying to hit Rinai directly. However, he seems to have forgotten that red is very bulky. In Ren Yi's eyes, Digia's movements were as slow as a snail. Although he could easily dodge, Ren Yi did not choose to dodge. Instead, he slowly stretched out his right hand and directly caught Digia's swing. Daegu, who was in Digia's body, looked shocked at this moment. After all, as Digia, he was very clear about his own strength. This punch of his was enough to crush a mountain. He thought that Ren Yi's light skills were so powerful, his defense was so invincible, and his strength was stronger than the compound type, but it was better than the red powerful type, he didn't expect. Looking at Ren Yi who was holding his right fist tightly in front of him and looked indifferent, Daegu was extremely shocked. Digia, oh no, Daegu? The idol in his youth, hey, should he punch? Ren Yi thought to himself looking at Digia who was as helpless as a child in front of him. After hesitating and thinking again and again, he couldn't make up his mind. At this moment, Lena's voice came from behind Ren Yi. Giant, come on! Defeat this evil monster! Hey, hey, where do you see that I am evil? Rinai thought with a dark face. Giant, come on. Come on. Kill him. We believe in you. Giant. The rest of the people also echoed, after all, there is no other way but to support them, the ammunition is used up, and their attacks have no effect on Ren Yi, the only hope is the mysterious giant in front of him. As if in response to everyone's expectations, Dijia nodded deeply, and then grabbed Rinai with his left hand, trying to break free. However, in Rinai's view, the strength of Dijia's one hand is not much different from the strength of two hands, and he can't shake himself at all. But, such a script seems a little abnormal? Forget it, let me cooperate too. Ren Yi thought. Ever since, Ren Yi deliberately let go of his hand, pretending to be broken free. Everyone cheered happily when they saw that Dijia was out of control. But Rinai had a dark face and thought, hey, 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 he just broke free, should he look like he's already won? After successfully breaking free, Dijia seemed to be full of confidence, and charged directly at Rinai. Seeing Dijia who was approaching him quickly, Ren Yi felt a little helpless. Big brother, you knew you couldn't beat me, but you rushed towards me like I was strong, what are you doing? It seems that I can't give you too much face. Therefore, Ren Yi, who made up his mind, didn't give any face, and spit out the dragon's breath of the dragon spell at Dijia. Dijia originally planned to get close to Rinai, and saw that Rinai was about to emit a dragon's breath, directly transform into a composite type, and emit his own light. It seems that Tiga's composite light technique is the strongest, right? Ren Yi saw Dijia's actions right before his eyes, and secretly admired him in his heart, as expected of Dijia, he has such a strong sense of fighting. However, Dijia thought that even if he couldn't beat Rinai, he could at least tie, but he was wrong. The dragon's breath sprayed by Rinai seemed to ignore the light emitted by him, and kept approaching him without any pressure. Daegu in Dijia's body was also very helpless about this, so he had to give up emitting light when the dragon's breath was about to hit him, and turned on the protective cover. After the dragon's breath was consumed by the light, it was resisted by the protective cover, and the remaining damage was not much. After breaking Dijia's protective shield without any suspense, he directly hit Dijia, but Dijia was only knocked into the air again, and did not disappear directly. This is almost the same, too much is not good. Ren Yi thought so. Later, when Dijia was knocked into the ground and then got up, Ren Yi took the opportunity to slip away quickly. After Dijia got up, he found that Ren Yi had disappeared, and his color timer was flashing faster and faster. Yu reading www.yu. As if the comm was about to go out, it hurriedly flew towards the sky. Giant, lost. Lena muttered. It turns out that giants have opponents they can't beat. Xingqian also couldn't believe it. There is no way, after all, we have seen the strength of the monster. Digging forced himself to calm down and said. Victory Team Headquarters Command Room. I think everyone has already figured it out. Zhu Jianhui looked at the listless team members in front of him and said. Our meeting this time is about this monster. As he spoke, Ren Yi's photo was displayed on the big screen. This monster, according to current observations, possesses a powerful flame-throwing ability that is almost invincible in defense and incomparably powerful. Even giants. Zhu Jianhui stopped as he spoke. Well, isn't it a bit inappropriate for us to call the giant giant? How about we give the giant a name? Lena saw that the scene was a little depressed, and changed the subject. Well, that's fine, what do you want to call it? Zhu Jianhui clearly saw Lena's intentions, and complied. How about calling him Ultraman? Digging asked. Cut, it's too rustic. In my opinion, it's not bad to be called Salted Egg Superman. Xingqian said with a good feeling about himself. Tiga. Daegu muttered. Hey! Everyone's attention was instantly attracted. How about calling him Ultraman Tiga? Daegyu said again. Tiga, Ultraman, not bad. It's a good name, well, let's call him Ultraman Tiga. Lena concluded. Also, do you want to name that monster? Lena said while looking at the screen. Is that the monster's name? Digging stared at Ren Yi on the screen. Maybe it's good to have a code name, like Gorzon, Merba, and Jakula, don't they all have their own names? Daegyu said. That's right, it will be easier to distinguish in the future. Zhu Jianhui also nodded in agreement. Then what should I call him? Xingqian asked. Holy Lord. Daegyu said with some confused love. Hey! Everyone was taken aback for a moment. Holy Lord! Lena asked tentatively. Because, you see, does he look like a dragon? Doesn't the dragon symbolize the sacred? Daegyu said. But he is a monster, isn't the name Holy Master a bit? Zhong Fang hesitated. Anyway, it's just a code name, let's decide it like this. Finally, Zhu Jianhui concluded. Speaking of which, Daegyu, you really know how to come up with names. Stubbornly held Daegyu with one hand. Ha ha ha, no, there's no such thing. Daegyu smiled awkwardly. It's Digia first, and then Holy Master. They both sound good. If I have a child in the future, I will ask you to help me choose a name. Lena looked at Daegyu with a smile on her face. The atmosphere has subtly solidified. Ahem, speaking of which, I didn't expect that boss to be imprisoned. Xingqian changed the subject. That's right, it's said that it's an illegal operation, and workers' wages were deducted, so it was found out. Yerui said beside the computer. After all, there's such a big commotion, it's hard not to attract attention. Digging also said. But Jakuma seems to have disappeared, and the mine seems to have been bought by others. Zhu Jianhui looked thoughtful. Well, anyway, as long as they don't come out to harm people, we don't have to kill them all. Lena continued. Let's not mention this first, I heard that the captain was invited by the TV station. Dui Jing said and looked at Zhu Jianhui. Oh? Is the captain going to be on TV? Daegyu was also a little surprised. Wow, I'm so envious. Lena looked envious at the side. Ahem, I'm just going to deal with those troublesome reporters, what's there to envy? Zhu Jianhui said calmly. The screen turned to Renai's side. At this moment, Ren Yi was in a dark cave, and there were two huge monsters in front of him. Jakumar, you should understand me, right? Ren Yi said. The two-horned Jakumar nodded slightly. Okay, let me make a long story short, this place is safe, no one will disturb you, and you can live in peace. Renai said to the two Jakumar. I saw the two Jakuma looking at Renai with gratitude, but at the same time they were a little puzzled and uncertain. Seemingly understanding their thoughts, Ren Yi said lightly, this place has been taken over by me, that is to say, this place is already my private territory. You can continue to live with peace of mind, but... Ren Yi suddenly paused while speaking. If I need your help with anything in the future, you must obey me unconditionally. I saw that the two Jakumar did not show any rejection or embarrassment after hearing this, but took it for granted. After all, if there was no Renai in front of them, I would have been wiped out by the group of little bugs that day. So the two Jakumar are very grateful to Ren Yi. Seeing that his goal had been achieved, Ren Yi turned and left. Walking to the entrance of the mine, Ren Yi said to the workers next to him, no one can enter the cave I entered just now, do you understand? After hearing what Renai said, the workers all said, understood, little boss. No problem, little boss. Don't worry, little boss. What the hell, you can't do without the word small. Ren Yi suppressed the anger in his heart. After all, there are no workers in the mine, isn't it a bit too strange? Therefore, after Renai bought the mine, he began to operate it in a proper form, just hiding Jakuma here. You can also make some money by the way. Although his appearance makes the workers look very respectful to him, but this is the title. After Ren Yi came out of the mine, he stepped directly into his car door. Drive, go home. Ren Yi said to the driver sitting in the driver's seat. After all, he is only 16 years old. Although he is rich, he must abide by the regulations, so he had to hire a driver. Back home. Looking at the mansion in front of him, Ren Yi walked into the gate with a happy face. Lying on the bunk in his bedroom, he took a deep breath. Sure enough, it's better here. System prompt: the host currently has 2 free skill points, please allocate them. At this moment, the system's voice sounded. 2 skill points? What is that for? And when did I get these 2 skill points? Ren Yi asked suspiciously. System prompt: the host completed the task of hitting Ultramandiga once and covering Gorzan's safe evacuation the day before yesterday, and gained a skill point. He completed the task of rescuing 2 Jakula yesterday, and gained a skill point. Oh! Ren Yi suddenly realized. Then what are these skill points good for? System prompt: the host can use skill points to unlock new spell abilities or upgrade existing spells. Yu reading www.yuyugonshu.com. I see. Renai wondered before that he had only unlocked the 4 spells of dragon, cow, dog, and horse, what to do with the rest, because he had to use skill points to unlock them. Wait, what is upgrading an existing spell? Ren Yi felt something was wrong. System prompt: the currently unlocked spell ability of the host is only LV.1, and the strongest form of each spell is LV.5, which requires the host to continuously upgrade. Is there any difference? Ren Yi asked, puzzled. System prompt: let's talk about the dragon spell. The power of LV.1 is only enough to destroy a mountain, while LV.5 can directly destroy a planet. His Ren Yi gasped. I'd better unlock the new spells first. First unlock all the 12 signs of the zodiac and then upgrade. Ren Yi said. Let me think about it. Is it a skill point that unlocks a spell ability? The system prompts, yes. Then I want to unlock the chicken charm and the rabbit charm. Ren Yi thought for a while and said. System prompt: unlock chicken, float in the sky, rabbit, move quickly successfully. Renai looked at his character panel with satisfaction. I vaguely remember that when I was young, when I watched the adventures of Jackie Chan, the favorite thing I got was spells, but now. Wahaha, with the spell in hand, I have the world. Victory Team Headquarters Command Room. Yerui and Daegu are the only 2 left in the huge command room. Daegu, did you call me here for something? Yerui asked suspiciously. Well, I want to discuss something about the Holy Lord with you. Daegu seemed to be thinking about something. About the Holy Master. Yerui looked at Daegu suspiciously. Yes, you see, while everyone else is busy, let's discuss how to deal with the Holy Master first, so that we can deal with it in the future. Daegu said somewhat far-fetched. That's right, wait for me. Yerui reluctantly explained the statement. As he spoke, he walked to the computer, typing on the keyboard with both hands. A photo of the Holy Master appeared on the big screen. Actually, I have already prepared the information about the Holy Master, but I just lacked a chance to analyze it to everyone. Since Daegu mentioned it, let me tell you first. Yerui said. Daegu looked at the screen thoughtfully. Seeing Daegu staring at the screen wholeheartedly, Yerui analyzed on his own. As far as the current data shows, the Holy Lord is far from an existence that we humans can fight against. Hey? How do you say that? Daegu looked at Yerui in disbelief. Because you see. Yerui said and tapped the keyboard, only to see the images of Shenzhou and Gorzan displayed on the big screen. Look, Gorzan and Melba chose to stand by when they fought against Ultramantiga. What does that mean? It means that he is confident enough in his own strength. Yerui stared at the screen. Here, after Melba was defeated by Ultraman Tiga, he didn't panic at all. He didn't show obvious cowardice like Gorzon, which is enough to prove that he didn't compare Gorzon with Melba from the very beginning. Be a comrade in arms. Well, but to defeat him, you must at least know his shortcomings, right? You can't just see his strengths, but find his weaknesses. Daegyu tried to shift the focus. Flaws, flaws? There are also. Yerui replied. What is it? Daegyu asked impatiently. According to current observations, the Holy Master can't fly. Yerui concluded. Can't fly? Daegyu was at a loss. Yes, that is to say, as long as we keep hitting in the air, we will definitely damage him, but at the same time, we must pay attention to avoiding the dragon's breath of the Holy Lord. We can't resist that power for the time being. Yerui said. Aerial strike is a good way. Daegyu excitedly agreed. And at this moment, Rinai. Young master, according to your arrangement, the garbage disposal station has been established. Said a servant-like person. Well, very good, then transport it to the mine as planned, and put it in the cave I designated. Remember, don't enter the cave. Ren Yi said seriously. Yes, young master. The servant said as he prepared to leave. And Ren Yi continued. What's wrong? Young master. The servant asked puzzled. Don't call me little. Young master. Master. Ren Yi said word by word. Watching the servant leave the room, Rinai froze. Ha ha ha, smart as me. Just with the help of Jakula, set up a garbage disposal station, recycle garbage at a price, and then let Jakula turn them into stones, and then eat them as food. As for the extra ones, they will be used as mines to point stones for workers to mine. Ha ha ha. At this moment, Ren Yi suppressed a heartfelt laugh. Because. System prompt, the latest mission is announced. Please the host arrive at the following coordinates as soon as possible to prepare. The system's voice sounded at this moment, and sent Rinai a coordinate. Hey? A new mission. Ren Yi was a little surprised. In an hour. Near the TV station at this time. A cool modified motorcycle has just arrived at the intersection. On the motorcycle, riding a petite figure that does not match its figure. After taking off the motorcycle helmet, the little Zhengtai with dashing dark blonde short hair and red pupils appeared on the street. Instantly caught the eyes of many pedestrians on the roadside. Is this the coordinate specified by the system? Xiao Zhengtai said to himself. System prompt, it has been checked that the host has arrived at the specified coordinates, and the next task will be issued below. Oh? Is there a follow-up? Sure enough, the task can't be so simple. Ren Yi complained. As for why Ren Yi made such an appearance? Of course, it was because he himself felt that coming to such a place in a luxury car would cause commotion, making it inconvenient for the next action. As for motorcycles, there is no requirement that you must have a driver's license in order to look good. System prompt, ask the host to save the mother and child downstairs when the building explodes. Reward, faith plus 2 faith value? What is that? Ren Yi asked puzzled. System prompt, the host will answer after completing the specified task. Okay. Rinai leaned on the motorcycle and stopped moving after speaking. Why hasn't the system's so-called mother and child appeared yet? After a while, Ren Yi complained impatiently. At this moment, the large-screen public TV attached to the TV station building lit up. Oh? Just to pass the time. At this moment, a familiar face appeared on the screen. Zhu Jianhui, captain of the victory team? Why is she on TV? Ren Yi looked at the screen in surprise. By the way, I heard that you named the giant Ultraman Diga. Asked the hostess. Yes, I believe that the appearance of Ultramandiga is a hope for us humans. Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com. He is our human partner, is. While Zhu Jianhui was giving a long speech, the hostess next to her had an abnormality. Her hair suddenly swelled, her eye circles turned purple-black, and what was even more strange was that she actually floated in the air. I am the holy Kyriero, I will use the holy flame to purify the filth, you watch. Then he fell down. Oh? Have you reached the plot yet? Ren Yi murmured. Ren Yi still remembered the general situation of this episode. That is to say, I am standing under a building that is about to explode. Ren Yi suddenly realized that something was wrong. Just when Ren Yi was about to retreat, a mother and son passed by Ren Yi. Is this the mother and son in the mission? Forget it, take them away first. I saw that a building under construction suddenly exploded, and the 3 people downstairs were about to be affected. At this moment, like a whirlwind, they carried a pair of mother and child to the opposite side of the road in an instant, and successfully escaped. Debris from the explosion. Hey? What happened? The woman looked at Ren Yi suspiciously. Mom, we seem to have teleported. The child said innocently. We seem to be on the opposite side just now. The woman looked across the road uncertainly. I just saw the building where the explosion was taking place. Then the woman looked at Ren Yi with a confused face. It's just using the fast movement of the rabbit charm and the reading power of the chicken charm. Renai said in his heart, then turned and left regardless of the eyes of the mother and son. After walking a few steps, I suddenly realized, my motorcycle. System prompt, congratulations to the host for completing the task, and reward faith +2. Faith value. Renai looked at the system prompt that popped up in front of him, and asked suspiciously. System prompt, it is detected that the host has gained belief value, and the belief system will be automatically activated. Belief system? What the is this? Belief system, the host, as the border of the Holy Lord system, has inherited all the abilities of the Holy Lord. Thinking about it, the Holy Lord was a generation of emperors, the absolute ruler of a region, and the supreme dictator. As an emperor, of course there must be believers. Hey, energy can be obtained through believers, and those energies are belief values. The belief system can be used to exchange belief points for different props and unlock other abilities of the Lord. I see. Ren Yi nodded as if understanding. So, what's the use of 2 faith points? System prompt, please host to open the belief system to operate. TCH, can't you just be lazy? Ren Yi complained while opening up the so-called belief system. Just like a game mall, the so-called belief system appeared in front of Renai. Flamethrower amplification rune, can temporarily enhance the power of the dragon spell. Talisman of disappearance, it contains part of the magic power of the snake charm, which can make the user enter a short-term invisible state. Space teleportation talisman, it contains the magic power of rabbit talisman LV.5, enabling the user to instantly move to the designated location. Renai looked at the dazzling array of products in front of him, and seemed to find something in common. Isn't this the ability of a spell? After all, I don't need it at all. Ren Yi shouted. System prompt, the belief system, as the name suggests, is used by believers who exchange goods to the host, and it does not have much effect on the host's ability. I'm so speechless. Just when Ren Yi was about to give up, something dark appeared in front of Ren Yi. This is... Ren Yi clicked on the product introduction with doubts. The Stone of the Shadow Core, it contains the black energy of the Shadow Core under the command of the Holy Lord, which can summon the Shadow Core of the Holy Lord to assist the user in the battle. Good stuff. Ren Yi's eyes lit up. Since the ability of the system has not been fully unlocked, the most famous ability of the Holy Lord, the power of spells, has not been fully unlocked, let alone other abilities of the Holy Lord, so Ren Yi does not know that he will be able to summon the Shadow Core. When will this thing just solve Ren Yi's urgent needs? After thinking about it, Ren Yi directly chose this stone. Need to pay, 1 piece 2 directly. Ren Yi bought 2 without hesitation. I saw 2 black stones appeared in Renai's hands. This is coal. Looking at the black stone that looked like coal in his palm, Ren Yi couldn't help but complain. How do I use this? Ren Yi asked the system as he walked towards the alley. System prompt, just crush it. The coal shattered. In an instant, the shadow under Ren Yi's feet began to elongate, then forked, and then formed a black figure with the appearance of 4 people. Then the 4 shadows climbed up from the ground like real people. Wow, is this the Lord's Black Shadow Core? It looks so cool. Ren Yi looked curiously at the 4 black-clothed ninjas in front of him. The 4 people in front of them were like dead objects, motionless, like 4 sculptures. Jump. Renai tried to issue an order. At the moment Renai made his voice, the 4 ninjas in black jumped high and jumped onto the 8-meter-high house in an instant. Well, not bad. Ren Yi looked at the 4 black shadow ninjas in front of him with satisfaction. Okay, you 4 should lurk first, and wait for my order to reappear. With that said, the 4 black shadow ninjas slowly dived into the ground as they had appeared before, and then merged into Ren Yi's shadow, as if they had never appeared before. Ren Yi looked at everything in front of him with satisfaction, and then strode out of the alley, as if he had forgotten that his motorcycle had just been crushed. When Renai walked out of the alley, the mother and son had already disappeared. Hey? What am I here for? Ren Yi suddenly realized something was wrong. After a while of thinking. Forget it, let's go home. However, just when Ren Yi was about to go home. System prompt, the life response of the Kirillo people has been detected near the host. Hey? Kirillo people? Oh. I remembered. Renai's previous memories suddenly came to mind. Then he habitually looked at the ruins beside him. My motorcycle. Kirillo people. System prompt, the coordinates have been synchronized to the host. You're dead. Ren Yi gritted his teeth and looked at the coordinates announced by the system in front of him. Victory headquarters. Captain, are you okay? Daegyu asked concerned. Well, it's okay. Zhu Jianhui replied with a weak face. What did the alien say to you? After hearing this, Zhu Jianhui was shocked suddenly, and then hurriedly shouted, quickly, tell everyone to gather. Daegyu looked at Zhu Jianhui in confusion, but he had no choice but to follow suit. Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com. Ren Yi at this time. Hey? Kirillo people, where do you want to run? Ren Yi looked at the human in front of him with a playful face. I don't understand what you are talking about. The man said in a hurry. Stop pretending, do you think that if I don't know your identity, I will take the initiative to find you? Ren Yi said, approaching step by step. Seeing that there was no way to continue the disguise, the man became ruthless, and a black mist appeared around him. After the black mist disappeared, a humanoid creature with an obvious alien appearance appeared in front of Ren Yi. As aliens, why do you have to press hard? Do you want to pretend to be the savior of mankind like Ultraman Tiga in exchange for the admiration of the people on Earth? Ridiculous! Said the Kyriero with a disdainful laugh. Savior? Ha 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 ha! Renai laughed as if hearing something ridiculous. What? Am I wrong? The Kirillo kept backing away while talking. After all, the pressure he faced was simply too great. What's going on with this person? I can clearly feel that he is not a human being, but some kind of unknown creature, but this feeling of oppression is too terrifying. Hey! I didn't find you for anything else, I was looking for you. Ren Yi said lightly. The Kirillo listened nervously, not daring to miss a single word, for fear of missing the point. It's because you broke my motorcycle. Tell me. How do you pay for it? Hey! As if hearing unbelievable words, the Kirillo just stayed where they were. What? Want to renege on your debt? Ren Yi said aggressively and took a step forward. No. No. After successfully obtaining the so-called compensation, Ren Yi was ready to leave contentedly. System prompt, a new mission is announced. Please host the on-site spectator when the Kyrie Rods and Tiga Ultraman confront each other, and promise to kill the Kyrie Rods with their own hands. The sound of the system made Renai abruptly take back the steps he had taken. Putting Ren Yi's actions back into his eyes, the Kyrielid had an ominous premonition. The body involuntarily took a step back. Hi, boy, let's discuss something. Renai smiled and walked towards the Kyrielid. What are you doing? The compensation has been given to you, what else do you want? Why are you so scared? I won't eat you. Ren Yi smiled wryly. Not always. What did you say? Ren Yi took a fierce step forward. No. It's nothing. The Kyrielid was scared instantly, he didn't dare to offend the master in front of him now. I don't know why, but there is always an unknown voice in his heart that keeps warning him, run, run, don't easily off the people in front of you. The sound of that voice made him instinctively afraid of Ren Yi. Aren't you going to duel with Ultraman Tiga soon? How about I give you an idea? Renai said, putting his hand on the shoulder of the Kyrielid. The moment Ren Yi touched him, he trembled violently. Idea? Well. The Kyrielid looked at Ren Yi suspiciously. Hey? Do you suspect me? Ren Yi saw his gaze. No, no, how dare the villain doubt you, tell me, listen, villain. The Kyrielid said timidly. It seems that you still don't trust me very much, anyway, come on, let me tell you about the tactics against Ultraman Tiga. Captain, did he really say that? Zhong Fang asked in disbelief. It's absolutely true, anyway, it's too late now, we must start to act immediately. Zhu Jianhui said anxiously. Searching. Yerui kept typing on the keyboard with both hands, no doubt he is a man who has been single for 18 years. This speed is really admirable. It's too late, let's search while moving. Digging the well said and walked out. Daegu, let's go, let's drive Shengli Fei in one to patrol the city first. N. Daegu also followed after hearing this. Then let's go too, it's useless to be in a hurry here anyway. Lena said to Xingqian. That's right, let's go. After everyone assigned the task, Zhong Fang said to Zhu Jianhui, don't be too tired, you can go back and have a rest first. But Zhu Jianhui was obviously a little worried. It's just a bomb, leave it to us. Zhong Fang patted his chest confidently. Zhu Jianhui had no choice but to walk towards his bedroom. Bomb, in the A1 area. A mysterious voice sounded from Zhu Jianhui's ear. Who is it? The bomb planted by the Kyrie-rods is in the A1 area. The person who spoke finally appeared, it was a woman with long white hair. You. Zhu Jianhui looked at the woman in front of her in disbelief. Go, it will be too late. Yu Lian said and disappeared. Ren Yi at this time. And sure enough, it should be like this. Looking at the beautiful night scene in front of him, Ren Yi let out a breath of comfort. My lord, are you sure Ultraman Tiga will appear here? The man beside Renai asked respectfully. Of course, trust me, I won't treat you badly. Ren Yi said with a smile. By the way, how long will it take for the bomb you set to explode? Ren Yi suddenly thought of something and looked at the man. Probably, still 10 minutes. The man estimated the time. That's coming soon, get ready for the battle. By the way, try to attract Ultraman Tiga's attention to other places during the battle. I don't want anyone to disturb me while watching the battle. Ren Yi continued to look at a beautiful night view. Understood, my lord. Captain. Lena, digging a well, Zinken was driving the victory swallow hovering in the air, sad and angry roars sounded in the air. At the moment when the building was about to collapse, a burst of intense light flickered. It's Ultraman Tiga. The captain was rescued by Ultraman Tiga. Lena said excitedly. Dijia slowly put Zhu Jianhui on the ground, nodded slightly. At this moment, are you going to be the protector of the earth? Ultraman Tiga. A strange man's voice suddenly sounded. Dijia turned around in response, facing the strange man in black clothes in front of him. Don't you think it's too ridiculous? Long before you appeared, the people of the earth have been waiting for us, the Kiryarods, to come. They have been waiting for us, the holy Kiryarods, to rule the earth. Your existence is unnecessary. The man said excitedly. Next, I'll let you see us Kiryelid, how angry we are. I saw cracks appearing under the man's feet, and the fiery red light from the cracks shone on the man. Then the man's size gradually swelled, becoming the same size as Ultraman Tiga, and showing his original appearance. Is this the prototype of the Kiryarods? Digging looked at the giant in front of him and said. No, he should have made his body larger in order to match the size of Ultraman Tiga. Yerui analyzed through the computer in the command room. While Ultraman Tiga was still in a daze, the Kiryelid took the opportunity to kick Ultraman Tiga far away, and the direction of kicking was the building where Rinai was located. Looking at the huge figure flying towards him, several well-shaped marks appeared on Ren Yi's forehead. This bastard! I told you not to drag me, can you still watch the battle? Ren Yi complained. Although he was complaining, he acted without any hesitation and directly entered the fighting state. Just when Ultraman Tiga was about to hit the ground and smashed down a building, a burning pillar of fire appeared in front of the building. Roar seemingly announcing his presence, Ren Yi roared loudly. Then he kicked Tiga who was flying towards him. The sad Dijia was once again kicked in front of the Kiryarods like a ball. When the people of Kiryelid saw Ren Yi appearing, they were already too scared to move easily. It seems that he just told himself not to disturb him before, and then he directly kicked Ultraman Tiga towards him. Will he think that I did it on purpose? The Kiryarod thought nervously. At this time, Rinai didn't make any movement after kicking Ultraman Tiga, as if he was waiting for something.